ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Questions? Ravindra. In the last class, we spoke about importance of doing yajna dana tapas in grihastha ashrama. Kindly elaborate on dhanam and what is the right way of doing dhanam. What is dhanam and what is the right way of doing dhanam? Dhanam is being charitable, giving. Dhanam means giving. Dhanam is given as one of the important spiritual disciplines. In the 18th chapter, he says, even if you stop other things, don't stop yajna dana tapas, he says. Even if you stop doing other things, don't stop these three, yajna, dana, and tapas. Dhanam, which is giving, first, is dhanam a mental attitude of giving or actual giving? Dhanam is actual giving. Why it is called a discipline is because in order to do dhanam, two things are necessary. One is you must have it first. Second is your identification with the others is so much that you are willing to let go of your happiness that you are going to get from it. That's called dhanam. Again, why it is a spiritual discipline is because number one, in order to do dhanam, first you should have it. Then only you can do dhanam. Now, when you have it, you can enjoy it and find happiness, or you can give. Now, in order to give, what is necessary? An identification with the other is necessary. So you have it, you can enjoy it, you are able to identify with the others, and then you give. This is called dana. You can be charitable, you can give only when there is identification. Where there is no identification, you cannot give. Yeah. That's the very basic. That's a very basic fundamental formula for giving. In order to give, you must have some identification. If you have an identification, you will give, and there will be a stretch in giving, and you always feel you should give more. Where there is lack of identification, giving is always measured. Giving is measured in terms of, I don't know what all factors people take into measuring. Yeah, it's a very poor attitude behind. It's a very poor attitude behind the giving itself. So the primary thing about giving is what you give, and then you give out of an identification. You follow? Identification comes when you understand you have been a beneficiary. Identification comes only when you have been a beneficiary. Supposing if you think that you are not a beneficiary at all. No, sir, nobody has given me anything. Everybody has taken from me only. Nobody has given me anything, sir. Now what to do? That person cannot do dhanam at all, because in that person's understanding, I have been only I'm not a beneficiary at all. So in order to do dhanam, you must understand that you have been a beneficiary, isn't it? So you understand that you have been a beneficiary, and you must do, and you must reciprocate by giving. If I were to ask you, what is the opposite of dhanam? What is opposite of dhanam? Huh? Hoarding. Yeah. Huh? Stingy. Opposite of dhanam is hoarding, stingy, huh? Receiving. If you rightly understand the opposite of dhanam, you will not want to be in that, you will start giving. Huh? What is the opposite of dhanam? Selfish. If you are not, we have given this example any number of times. If you are not giving, if you are not doing dhanam, you are thieving. Opposite of dhanam is thieving. We have given this example any number of times. You take light from the sun and refuse to say thank you. You take light from the sun and refuse to say thank you to the sun. What is it called? Ingratitude. Ingratitude is a very mild word. The proper opposite of dhanam. If you are not doing dhanam, you are thieving. You are stealing. Now you have only two choices. Either you are stealing or you are giving. There are only two options you have. Either you are thieving, stealing, or giving. What is thieving, stealing? You are a beneficiary. You are given something. You take it. You enjoy it, and refuse to acknowledge it. Therefore, you don't give back. Are you able to follow the sequence? You are given. You don't acknowledge it. You don't want to give it back because you believe that, I don't know, whatever the belief is. Yeah. Entitlement. Yeah. The fellow who believes I am entitled will not do. Therefore, in order to do dhanam, the primary requisite of dhanam is what? Understand the opposite. Yeah. அதனால்தான் அன்னைக்கு ஃபுல்லா பஞ்சமகா யக்யா பண்ணலான்னா that night that fellow cannot sleep because he knows he has stolen. If you have not done the yajna that day, if you have not done the yajna, you will feel you feel you must understand that you have stolen something. Therefore, what do? They go on doing this. They go on doing this Panchamaha Yajna. You follow? As an example, I'm giving. Dhanam is doing Panchamaha Yajna is dhan. Yeah. Summer season, you keep water in a, yeah, you keep water in some pot, in some bowl for some bird to come and have. That is dhanam. Is a Panchamaha Yajna. Supposing if you don't do Panchamaha Yajna, in a day, that day you must understand you have இன்னைக்கு பஞ்சமஹா யஜ்ஞா பண்ணலனா today I have been a thief. No, sir, I have not taken anything from anybody. I have not pickpocketed. Yeah, I have not burgled an ATM. Yeah, I have not burgled an ATM. I don't do pickpocketing. I don't do so. Therefore, I am not thieving, stealing. No. If you are not doing dhanam, you are a thief. Therefore, there are people, they go on doing, and when they can't do, okay, when will that Panchamaha Yajna, Dhanam stops? On your death only it stops. Till you die, you have to, supposing you get to a point where Alzheimer's, dementia, Alzheimer's, what will you do? What will you do? அதுக்குதான் முன்னாடியே பவர் ஆஃப் அட்டர்னி கொடுத்துடணும் யாருக்காவது. You give power of attorney to somebody and make them to do on your behalf, and then you pay them also. You know that they do that? In the tradition, they do that. At least I have seen quite a few people doing that. Yeah, that is symbolic of giving the power of attorney. In the ritual, you do the sankalpa, and then you give the power of attorney to somebody on your behalf. On your behalf, they will do. Now, to that extent, you should visualize dhanam. Are you able to follow? To that extent, you should visualize dhanam. Supposing, sir, if I am dementia or I get into coma, you are still alive. No, you are still alive, isn't it? Height of it is there are people who save money for their own funeral expenses and give it to the future generation and leave. Wow, isn't it? They save money and they say, no, don't waste your money on useless body. Dispose பண்றதுக்கு don't waste your money. So you save money for that also and leave and go. It means at any given point in time, you are thinking about dhanam, giving. This attitude of dhanam, giving, makes you so, I don't know, you must experience that. Yeah, it makes you feel so, you're so relieved, you feel so light. Yeah. You are always 3 feet above the ground. Always literally 3 feet above the ground. They say literally 3 feet above the ground means, yeah, அவ்வளவு சீக்கிரம் தடிக்க விட மாட்டோம்னு அர்த்தம், isn't it? If you are 3 feet above the ground, even the speed breakers won't affect you. That's what they say about Yudhishthira's chariot. Yudhishthira's chariot always fly 3 feet above the ground. While all other chariot is on the ground, his alone is 3 feet above the ground. How is it possible? Symbolic. You follow? So dhanam means recognizing all the contributors and giving back to them. That's why we talk about the Panchamaha Yajna. So all the contributors you divide into 5 categories, and every day you must ensure that you have attended to all the 5. If you have not attended to all the 5 on a given day, whatsoever the circumstance is, toothache, stomachache, today I'm not in a mood. Yeah, who cares? You are thieving, that's all. Are you able to follow? It's very harsh to do it, but then you must. Once you get into that habit of doing, it's so easy. Because dhanam is not equated to material giving to the needy alone. See, the problem today is dhanam is not understood as Panchamahayajna. Whenever we talk about dhanam, we think about dhanam in some whatever material wealth I have, I keep sharing, giving. It is not restricted only to that small portion. That's absurd. Supposing the entire concept of dhanam is restricted only to that, you have missed the very point of the discipline of dhanam. You follow? Therefore, in the Grihastha ashrama, what is dhanam? 5. Remembering the 5 and being thankful to the to the 5. Because you are a beneficiary from all the 5 every day, isn't it? Every day. Now, why every moment? That's why the dhanam naka, how can a grihastha do dhanam? In order to do dhanam, you should soak yourself in the Rina Siddhanta. If you are soaked in the Rina Siddhanta, dhanam is natural. Yeah. Soaked na urga madri irukum. Yeah, you know urga, no? It will just soak and urga means pickle, kian. Urga means pickle. You know how they, your brain must get pickled in the idea of, in the concept of Rina Siddhanta. What is that concept of Rina Siddhanta? How you have been receiving from birth itself. How everything has been provided to you from birth itself, from how every, so you must soak in that idea. When your entire personality is soaked in that idea, dhanam becomes natural. So dhanam is in remembering all the 5 undoing. First 3 ki material kadayadu. It's only the, for the Deva Rishi Pitru, there is no money involved here. There is no wealth involved here. For the first 3, Deva Rishi Pitru. What is involved for all the 3? Remembering and saying, thank you. Remembering and saying, thank you. Yeah. Unless you do something, you don't feel gratification. Therefore, what you do, you take water and offer only for your thing, only for yourself. Because unless you get into action and do, you will never feel the satisfaction of having done it. Therefore, what do they do? What did they do? They kept actions. What does it take? Water. All that you need is what? Just water. Water. And they kept one spoon also for that. And that spoon is called Uddarni. Yeah, that spoon that you use for that Uddarni means, you should know how to buy that also. Don't go and search for all that. Now, don't go and search for all that now. What it means is the quantity of that, what is that? Spoon la inna per and the part. Pudi urkom, apro the water, where the thing gets, where you take it. It is designed in such a way that just one drop of water will go in it. It's not one whole spoon of water. You can't drink it like that. Just one drop. That's all. It is designed in such a way that it can take only one drop of water. Now, what is the difficulty in offering one drop of water? What is the difficulty in just taking and offering that one drop? They're not asking you to offer all your wealth and make you go bankrupt. All that they're doing is take little bit and give and give and give. Sometimes I buy that The Brahmin tradition, they buy the big one. I go and tell them, purpose, why are you going buying a big ones? It should be small because it should hold only one. It should hold only one drop. எடுத்தா ஒரு drop தான் வரணும். Yeah. நெய் ஊத்துற மாதிரி, isn't it? It's like pouring ghee. When they take in the spoon, the whole spoon will be full. And when they pour it on your plate, it will be only one drop. அப்படி வரணும். Yeah, like that it should be. You follow? That's it. So dhanam for the grihastha is doing panchamaha yajna. That's why it's called nitya karma of a human being. This panchamaha yajna comes in the nitya karma. Nitya karma means which has to be done every day. There are so many things that can't be done on certain days. Some days this can't be done, some days that there are so many vidhis for all that. For this Gayatri and Panchamaha Yajna, there is no vidhi at all. It means under all circumstances, every day it can be done. Follow. Manushya and Bhutani. So Dhanam is remembering all the 5 and offering is Dhanam. It's not just giving to one species called human beings alone. Better than not giving is this giving. Better than not at all giving is at least give to fellow human beings. But that doesn't qualify into Dhanam fully. Dhanam is all the 5. So always for clarity purposes, remember this. If you are not doing Dhanam, what are you doing? Thieving. Thieving, now you should be ready for the consequences of thieving. Isn't it? You are thieving means you should be ready for the consequences of the thieving. What is the consequences of thieving? Yeah. What are the consequences of thieving? You will be whipped. That's all, isn't it? Life will whip you, no. Because you have been taking and not acknowledging it, not knowing how to do it. It leaves you. That's where you find people have it and then they lose it also. And when they lose it, they will find 100 reasons. Maybe because of this it lost, maybe because of this it's lost, maybe because of this it's lost. Vedas come with only one reason for losing. What? It came to you because you are supposed to use it rightly. You didn't use it rightly, it will go away. It's a law. You follow? You'll be denied that. It means you have to work all the way back to get it. Yeah. Mind focusing on that one thing, it turns blind to everything else. Mind is just focused on that one thing. ஏதோ ஒன்று இருக்காது எல்லார்கிட்டயுமே. அதுலயே mind will be, it will just keep circling like the செக்கு மாடு மாதிரி அதே சுத்தி வரும். செக்கு மாடுன்னா how to say that in English? செக்கு மாடுக்கு இங்கிலீஷ்ல என்ன? I don't know. The bull, round, it just go round and round and round. The same, that oil mill bull madri. That one thing you will not have, and whatsoever that one thing you don't have, your mind will just keep circling around that only all that time, refusing to allow you to do anything else. Okay, you get it. Will you become free after it? You get it. Will you become free after it? Immediately the mind will find the next one it doesn't have, and it will repeat the same pattern. It doesn't really matter what you have or what you don't have beyond a point. Just doesn't really matter. Mind, it will just go round and round and round, the same one thing that you don't. So the Rina Siddhanta breaks this wrong habit of the mind. In order to break the wrong habit of the mind, Rana Siddhanta comes and helps. What is that? How you have been blessed from? How you have been blessed. With all the blessings, what are you doing back? You have been blessed with the blessings. What are you doing back? If you don't do it rightly, there is a consequence. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Naraka loka, go back and then work yourself up all the way, and then come just that one or two things you don't have, mind will go round and round and round, that lose everything because of. Have you ever observed people will not have weaknesses in hundreds and thousands and all? Have you ever noticed that? Nobody will have weakness in hundreds and thousands. Everybody will have only just ஒன்று தான். அந்த ஒன்னையே சுத்தி 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 வரும், அவ்வளவுதான். பாலஸ்தாவத் கிரீடாசக்தः. It will go round and round and round. Tarunastavat Tarunisaktaha. Vriddhastavat Chintasaktaha. So what? At every stage in life, mind has one thing to go round and round, and Vriddhastavat Chintasaktaha. Parame Brahmani Kopi Nasaktaha. Attachment is not that bondage, that affinity, that constantly uniting with Brahman is not coming. Now, in order to do that, the mind has to let go of certain habits. What is the habit that the mind has to let go of? Turning blind to all the blessings and not doing because of one thing it doesn't. What can you do? You can't do anything. You can only see the person in suffering and you just be helpless about it. Now, and you'll be so helpless about it. Therefore, what is the solution? Dhanam is the solution. Dhanam means Panchamaha Yajna. Don't restrict it to just material. Don't restrict Dhanam to just material giving. We are not saying it is not. Of the 5 yajnas, in Manushya Yajna, when you are helping the fellow human beings, the various ways in which the fellow human beings can be helped is Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajna. You can give material wealth, you can do physical help, you can be of some emotional solace, or you can be of some intellectual, you can give them some guidance. There are various ways in which human beings can be helped. Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajna. For all other 4 species, all this doesn't work. For all other species, Deva Rishi Pitru, it's only Deva Rishi Pitru. For Deva Rishi Pitru, only one thing you need to do. What? 1 glass of water. 1 glass of water is not so. It's not a big deal, isn't it? Manushya Yajna, you do this. And then for Bhutani, what is do for Bhutani? Again, something very, very like you keep summer, you keep water. Yeah. And if you are living in an apartment of 650 people, 650 families, the association will tell you, don't feed. Yeah. I also said, don't feed. Yeah. What to do? Because you feed them, yeah. 650 apartments, pigeons are in 6,000. Now, what do you do there? To give or not to give? Nevertheless, give. Doesn't matter. Yeah, nevertheless, give. If you give, you will get into, you will get this disease, you will get, anyway, you are diseased. What difference does it make? As though we are so healthy now that pigeon is only going to come and make us diseased. Already we are diseased then. Is it okay, Ravi? Yes. 1 second. Yes.
With regards to that, so for example, we see the same set of people in front of the temple.
Yes.
We go to office, the same set of people come and ask for alms. How do we react during those things? Do we give to the same? You go on the same time every day. The same person comes and stops.
Correct. Correct.
Every day.
Yes. What Aparna is saying is, she wants to do dhanam, and the same beggar in the same junction is coming every day. The same beggar in the same junction, in the same signal is coming every day. Now, do I give it to the same beggar or find different beggars and give? I think you have to go to beggar association only. Where will you find a new beggars every day? No, that's not the way dhanam is. That's not the way dhanam is done. Dhanam requires some clarity and emotional strength. Again, dhanam requires clarity and also it requires an emotional strength. If that emotional strength isn't there, it becomes weak pity. And most of the times dhanam is done out of weak pity. And dhanam that is done out of weak pity is not beneficial to both. Clear? Somebody, okay, most of the time we give only out of pity. That's why do they come dressed up like in such a shabby way as though they are bleeding? Yeah. I tell them, I used to tell them, there'll be, you see that bandage, they'll be bleeding. See, how is even standing there from morning till evening bleeding like that? It means actually he's not. It means actually he's not bleeding. All that he's doing is what? He understood the only way to get from me is make me emotional. Are you able to follow? The only way to get things from me is make me emotional. And what will make me emotional? Some injury, some bleeding, something. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, dhanam is not done from that emotional. Dhanam is not done from that emotional state. Dhanam requires a clarity and emotional strength means there is no vulnerability in you. That's called emotional strength. Again, I repeat, emotional strength means no, you are not vulnerable. Most of the times you are only vulnerable. You follow? So what do? They come and beg. Same set of people only. You go to the temple, you see the same fellows. Correct. I have observed. Same people will be there. Do we need to give it to them? Most of the time, the answer is no. Most of the time, the answer is no. Why? Because by giving, I'm promoting a wrong way of living. What is a wrong way of living? Make the other person emotional, exploit. By exploiting, you can live. Most of the times, dhanam becomes very dangerous because I'm giving people a wrong lifestyle, the wrong teaching. What is the wrong teaching? You can make me emotional and you can make me vulnerable. And out of that vulnerability, I will give you and you can earn your living. No, that is not, that is doing disservice to that person. Follow what I'm saying? That is doing disservice to that person. At the same time, you see, there are people who are really incapacitated to do anything. Literally, they may be incapacitated. You can see that. There you can give. You follow what I'm saying? So the idea is emotional vulnerability should not be emotionally vulnerable. Emotional vulnerable means emotional vulnerability means a sight can disturb me so much and I give. That is vulnerability. You follow what I'm saying? Vulnerability means a sight can disturb me so much and I end up giving. It can happen with the beggar. It can happen everywhere. Anywhere it can happen. I still remember one of the things that happened, in the, I think 1986, 87 and all that, one of the weird thing that happened in this country. Yeah, that Ram temple. One of the most weird things to happen in this country is to build one temple for, I don't know. Everybody's thinking that's one great spiritual, such a dumb thing to do, and then they have done. So in 85, 86 only, it started. In 85, 86, it started. And I have not participated in that, but I used to go to one, because of the bhakti thing that I wanted to and all that, I used to go there and I used to help him, sit behind him, they will sit and sing on the stage. The traditional Bhagavata singing, no? They will sit on the stage with all the floodlights hitting your body without shirt. You know how it will burn after a while? 15, 20 minutes, your whole body starts. You are burning and sweating, but you can't do anything. You just have to keep, you have to go on and on and on for 4 hours. You have to go on and on. So they used to do that. So sometimes I'll be sitting behind that man fanning, just to make him feel comfortable. Yeah, that's the seva you do. So I used to do that also. One thing I can't, still, like, if I close my eyes, I can see that entire scenario. I can see that entire hall full of people, 2,500, 3,000 people sitting in that hall, the auditorium. The frenzy is whipped up. The frenzy is whipped up so much, so much, so much. And then it's like nobody is conscious now. Nobody is conscious of anything that is happening there. You can whip up a frenzy. You know that, no? The whipped up, nobody is conscious. From the stage, you see, you can, at least I was thinking, I was like, literally 3,500 hypnotic mad people in front. Like, frenzied they were. And then suddenly he went. Rama walked in forest for 14 years for all of us. When did Rama walk for all of us? He walked in the forest for his father. He didn't walk in the forest for you and me. No. Aravindan Ravindran Kumar, he walked in the forest for 14 years. He walked in the forest for his father's thing. He did. What is the problem? Whipped up, whipped up, whipped up. And can't you all walk back home at least one day today? So what all you have, give, and because they need money. People threw things, there are people who threw their tali and all, they threw gold, everything. That's not the point. From third day, phone calls started coming. Can you give back? Younger, can you give back? Where to give back? Ella melted and the same night, the whole lot got melted and went. Where to give back now? Are you able to follow? That's not dana. Because you are not, there is no emotional strength. You are just whipped up into a frenzy. That whipping up can happen in a classroom like this, it can happen. In a classroom like this, it can happen. So therefore, somewhere down the line, you will be made emotionally vulnerable, and in that vulnerable state, you start giving. That's why 3 days later, 3 weeks later, you will not want to do it again. Now, why did you do it then? Because you just got vulnerable. And don't blame the other. Blame your own weakness for it. You follow what I'm saying? So Dhanam should never come out of an emotional vulnerability. Dhanam should come out of an emotional strength and some clarity. What is the clarity? some thought of benefit should be there. Some thought of benefit should be there. Otherwise, you just get whipped up. That's all. I should remember. No, they were throwing their. Imagine throwing their thalis and everything and chain and everything and then going home. That night, next morning, what would have happened in the house? Kurukshetra, no. They would either get that thing back or get out. Don't come into the house without the gold chain. It is perfectly correct. Supposing somebody says, get the gold chain and come back into the house, no, I will fully support. I will fully support that person only. I will not support no, you gave it for a higher cost only. It's okay. Punya will come to you. No punya will come to you. That type of giving will not give any benefit of giving will not come. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, dhanam must come not out of vulnerability. It's not out of weakness. It's emotional stability. What happens if we have to, if we encounter the same people, what do? If there is a sense of what you are giving is going to be of some benefit to them, keep giving to the same person every day. It doesn't make a difference. It's not that you have to find a new person every day to give. Again, you don't have to find a new person every day to give. If it is of benefit to them, keep giving. You follow? It's very important not to get emotional and give. It's very, very important. Because you will regret later. That's all. See, when you give out of emotional, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 2 months later, 3 months later, you will start feeling, oh my God, I should not have given that. I should not have done that. Isn't it? But what people do invariably, in order to extract from you, you should be made. If I want to extract something from you, first thing I have to make you is what? Make you emotional. No, that is not done. That is just weakness. Understand the difference now? So you give, doesn't matter. Whether it is the same person or different person doesn't make a difference. The only idea that you must have is giving must come out of emotional strength, stability, clarity. Dhanam should always come out of emotional strength and stability. Means what? Your weak pity is not kindled to make you do dana. That's why I started by saying, when you are soaked in the Rina Siddhanta, you will not have this weak pity and give. If you are not soaked in Rina Siddhanta, you will only have weak pity. Yeah. The idea is give and give in all the 5. Why do we talk about the 5 again and again and again? Is because you know that you have been giving in all aspects of life, that you will not get vulnerable. That brings emotional stability. I said have emotional stability. No, the question is, what will bring emotional stability? If you know that you are giving to all the 5, Deva, Rishi, Pitru, Manushya, Bhuta, if you know that you are giving to all the 5 every day, there is a stability. You don't feel vulnerable. You don't feel guilty. Somebody comes in front of you, you will have the courage to say, no also. Emotional stability means the courage to say no also. Otherwise, we just opposite of that, we just feel weak and give. You follow? Aparna.
You said the courage to give the 5. What does that mean?
Kian, sorry.
You said the courage to give the 5. What are the 5?
The 5. The 5 is, the first one is gods. Deva. The second one is the rishis, the sages. The third one is the past. It's called Pitrus. In Sanskrit, it's called Pitrus. In English, the past generations, very loosely called as ancestors. Pitru is misunderstood as ancestor worship. It's not ancestor worship. It is recognizing the contribution of the past to what you are doing now. That's called Pitru. The fourth one is fellow human beings. The fifth one is other species. So every day I must make an effort to remember all the 5 and I should give to all the 5. Then you know that you are giving overall. That's very important. That's what will bring emotional stability. Supposing if I'm just focusing on only human beings, I will always feel that I have not done enough. So start doing all the 5. You know that you are contributing. You know that you are giving to a much larger circle you are giving. You follow? This is the 5 here. Yes. Is there anything else? Yes. Yajna means a higher quality activity. Okay. Please explain. Are you okay, Ravi? Yeah. Please explain what activities are considered higher quality and how do we perform them for prashchita karma. Also, when someone is in grihastha ashrama, how do we do yajna and what's the purpose? Are yajna and havan the same? Okay. First question. Are yajna and havan the same? Yes. Both are one and the same. Havan is the action. Yajna is the attitude that you bring into that action. Havan is the actual action. Havan means the fire worship. The fire worship is the actual action. Yajna is the attitude that you bring into that action. Yajna means, we said, higher quality. What is higher quality? Poorest quality is being a parasite. Go sequentially, you will understand. What is the poorest quality? Being a parasite is the poorest quality. Slightly better than that is what? Slightly better than that is you at least do something for your sake. You at least do something for your sake. Better than that is you do it for your sake, at the same time take into consideration the welfare of others too. Like that, the quality goes on increasing. Yajna karma is the highest quality. Why do we say yajna karma is the highest quality? Because in yajna karma, what is the attempt that you are making? In yajna karma, the attempt that you are making is relinquishing na mama. Highest quality yajna karma is called highest quality only because of this, only because of the aspect of relinquishment comes there. What is the relinquishment? Na mama, not mine. Idam na mama. That's actual mantra, which I have said it any number of times. Yajna, always remember, whenever we use the word yajna, what you should remember? Idam na mama. Na mama. Relinquishment is the yajna karma. What do you relinquish? First, you relinquish the craving to the fruit, the obsession to the fruit. Second, you relinquish the very doership itself. First, you relinquish the obsession to the fruit, craving to the fruit. It's called karma palatyaga. First, you do karma palatyaga, and then the very kartrutva itself is relinquished. You follow? Again, it goes in stages. This is therefore yajna karma is called the highest form of activity. How to do this yajna karma as prayaschitta karma? Yajna karma is not used for prayaschitta karma. Don't mix it up. Yajna karma is a very specific action for the purpose of yajna karma is done for the specific purpose of what we call as chitta shuddhi, inner purification. Prayaschitta karma is a conscious effort you make to undo the wrong that you have done. So don't mix up both. You follow, Amit? So first is you don't. What did I say just now? Huh? Undo the mistake. Prayaschitta is you have done something. According to you, you have done what you ought not to do. When you have understood what you did something which you ought not to do, you can blame the other for it, or you can blame your weakness for it. Are you able to understand the difference? You can blame your own weakness for it and then take a vow not to repeat it. In order not to repeat it, the mind must remember. How to make the mind remember not to repeat that mistake? Make the mind to do something so that it will remember and not do it again. That's called prayaschitta. Are you able to follow? So you will say, supposing if I don't do Panchamaha Yajna, if I didn't do Panchamaha Yajna for one day, what is prayaschitta karma? I'm not asking you to do, please, I'm just giving an example. Yeah. What is prayaschitta karma? I will not drink water and die of dehydration. I will not drink water and I will die of dehydration for 24 hours. Doesn't matter, I die. That is that act of not drinking water and the dehydration, the mind remembers it so that it will not tempt you to repeat it again. You follow prayaschitta karma? Yajna karma is much superior to prayaschitta karma. Yajna karma is much superior. What is yajna karma? You are making an effort for relinquishment. Relinquishing what? First relinquishment is karma pala tyaga. Second relinquishment is the very kartrutva, which is far more difficult. Karma pala, at least I can temporarily keep aside the karma pala, but to get rid of the kartrutva is far more difficult. So when you are making effort to relinquish, that relinquishment is called yajna karma. That's what makes it superior. In grihastha ashrama, what kind of yajna karma you need to do? That's what I discussed first as an answer to Ravindran's question. The Panchamaha yajna. You follow? Next one. I'm not repeating because just now I explained Panchamaha yajna. That's why. A Kshatriya must kill or get killed. Correct. He must follow his Swadharma. Krishna explained this to Arjuna. Ashoka did not understand this and his compassion was misguided. Question. Buddha was a Kshatriya. When Buddha sought to give up fighting, leave his family, did he commit adharma? How then did he realize nirvana? By going against his swadharma. That's why if you read anything partly, you will get confused like this. If you read something, you should know how to read the whole thing fully. Times of India articles and all, if you read, this is what will happen. Yeah. Times of India articles you read, and then you read one paragraph here, one paragraph there, and then something you hear in the class, you put one garland out of it and ask a question, Amit. This is what will happen. Buddha was born into that family, but he was by guna, he is not a Kshatriya. Remember that. By guna, Buddha is a teacher. By guna, he is not a Kshatriya. Dronacharya, Bhishma, Janaka, they are all by gunas also Kshatriyas. Therefore, the misunderstanding that you got into is he was born into that family, but by guna, he's not a Kshatriya. How do you say that? What is the proof of it? For 45 years, he was non-stop teaching and so blissful in teaching. You follow that? Therefore, you should understand what is the guna composition of him that made him to do that. Now, when it comes to Ashoka, the example that I gave is you go into a war for victory. No. You go into a war for what? Did Ashoka plan and get into the war, or he was just dragged into that war? He planned and got into that war. He was not dragged into it. He planned and he went. But what happened is when he saw the pain of Swadharma, remember, Amit, whenever the pain component of Swabhava, Swadharma activity comes, the mind always wants to drop it because of the pain element. That is what Krishna's objection to Arjuna is. Are you able to follow the answer? You follow your Swabhava, karma, you follow your Swadharma karma, pain will be there. Understood? Yes or no? No, sir. I thought Swadharma karma means no pain, always joy, always happy, only success. Adalla hallucination. Swadharma karma, Swabhava karma will have pain element. Because of the pain element, Arjuna wanted to leave. Because of the consequences of his own action that he saw, which was earlier known, but temptation made Ashoka to get into the war. He felt very compassionate and then he dropped it all of a sudden, but growth didn't happen at all. You follow? Why? Because the Swadharma karma was dropped out of fear. Now, the difference between Buddha and Ashoka. Ashoka wasn't a seeker of Brahman. Arjuna wasn't a seeker of Brahman. Buddha was a seeker of Brahman. Comparison itself is wrong. The comparison itself is wrong because Buddha was a seeker of Brahman. Arjuna definitely wasn't seeking Brahman because his problem is what? His problem is what? Killing is not my problem. Krishna, killing my people is my problem. I don't mind slaughtering the whole lot. The 4-5 பேர் இருக்கக்கூடாது அவ்வளவுதான். Except that 4-5, I will slaughter the entire creation. I don't mind slaughtering the creation. But that 4-5, I will not slaughter. Why that 4-5 I will not slaughter? Because my people. So what was Krishna objecting to? Either you don't slaughter anybody or slaughter everybody. You can't pick and choose. My people I will not slaughter, rest of the creation I don't mind. How does it work? You follow? So Swabhava karma gives pain, and Arjuna wanted to get away from that action because of the pain. Now you don't stop an activity because of pain. You don't stop an activity because of the doing will cause pain. The result can cause pain. Again, action, doing can cause pain. Sometimes the doing may not cause pain. The result may cause pain. Are you able to follow, Amit? Nevertheless, whether while doing it is painful or the result is painful, doing, result, both are painful, doesn't matter. Next morning, what should you do? Next morning, what should you do? Put your boots on and walk out. Yeah, put your boots on and walk out. Go back into the battlefield. Go out. That is Krishna's advice. You follow what I'm saying? So, Arjuna and Ashoka and all were not seekers of Brahman. Buddha was a seeker of Brahman, because remember that I have said it any number of times. He showed the charioteer the palace. They left the town, they left his country from the nearby hill. He showed the palace, pitch dark, and the palace is in light, glittering like gold in the light. He showed that palace to the charioteer and asked this question. What do you see there? He asked. Remember that question? Buddha asked the charioteer, what do you see there? The charioteer said, I'm seeing joy, peace, happiness there. I'm seeing joy there. I'm seeing happiness there. He said, I am seeing misery, he said. I am seeing misery there. You see joy, I see misery. You go your way, I go my way. You follow? Misery, not as in we are experiencing misery, as you are experiencing misery, Amit. Not that misery. This is of what it is, totally qualitatively different it is. That's why instead of calling it as a misery, we want to use the word mumukshatva. That man was having mumukshatva. From that angle of mumukshatva, he was seeing the whole thing differently. Are you able to follow? Now, if a person, supposing if Arjuna had mumukshatva, what Krishna would have told him? If Arjuna had mumukshatva, what Krishna would have told him? Battlefield, let them do what they want to do. You come, we both will. My whole lifetime, I'm looking for one person like you. Now that you come, yeah, come, we'll go. Let them do with all these things. But then Arjuna was not prepared for that. You follow the difference? Amit. Any more? I'll finish. I saw something more. Very good question. I heard in Vedanta there is no disconnection of relationships allowed. A relationship exists because of our prarabdha. Correct. Relationship is not existing because of your prarabdha. The moment you go and tie yourself up, it becomes a bondage. You must be grateful and be in it. Before tying yourself, you have the freedom. After tying, there's no ideology. Okay, now the question. Now the question. If a relationship is written in our prarabdha, for example, a marriage, then how can someone get a divorce? You should not have gotten. With the divorce, did they change their prarabdha? With the divorce, you have added another prarabdha. That's all. With the divorce, nothing changes. Again, I repeat. With the divorce, will your prarabdha change? Your prarabdha will not change because of your divorce. Now, what had happened is your list of gratitude is going on increasing. You didn't finish with one. Something is left halfway, and you are going to pick up another, and then you are going to pick up another. Now, you are going to create a habit of what? You are creating a habit of what? Hmm? Picking up something and dropping. You are creating a habit of what? It's not the divorce that we are concerned about. By this act, you are picking up a habit. Huh? Running away. You are picking up a habit, which is a very, very wrong habit, which will stay with you for janmas, it will stay with you. That's what we are concerned about. You are worried about your today. The Shastra is worried about your today, tomorrow, next janma, future janma, because it can see so much. Like Swamiji always says, no, you can't see beyond the tip of your nose, but the Shastra sees so far ahead. So what is this habit which is dangerous? Taking more and more in divorce. What is that habit? It's a dangerous thing that you are picking up. What? A very dangerous habit, which is going to create a lot of naraka for you, is use, throw. No gratitude at all in return. Use and throw. But nobody will agree to this. Everybody will say, no, sir, I am the one who got you. I never used, I was abused. I was the one who, I was in an abusive relationship, sir. Narayana, I don't know. You are in a relationship, that's all. All relationships are abusive by nature because one is exploiting the other, no. One is using the other, no. Yeah. It's like saying two enlightened people having a relationship. Yeah, Yagyavalkya and Maitreyi. Enga kadaikum adallam, illaya? In the Yoga Sutras, Shiva and Parvati. Yeah, Shiva is the teacher and Parvati is the student, you know. And you know how Shiva teaches Parvati in Yoga Sutra? அப்படிலாம் டீச் பண்ண முடியாது. Sorry, no, teaching can't be done like that, but no, so beautifully. Where Parvati is sitting on the lap of Shiva, and he's hugging her and teaching. இதெல்லாம் dramatic relationships. Practical relationships and all relationships are abusive by nature only. Why? Because one is constantly thinking in terms of using the other, exploiting the other. It doesn't really matter in what way it is. Therefore, what do we say in Vedanta? The Shastra says, before making the choice, you are free. After the choice is made, you are born. Amit. Before making the choice, you are free. Once the choice is made, you can't exercise freedom anymore. You have to be grateful from that point onwards, and giving starts. Understand the difference? Therefore, will divorce change the prarabdha? It will not change the prarabdha, because a wrong thing has happened in the mind. What is the wrong thing that has happened? Utilitarian. Really, everything in life has become utilitarian. Use. The moment there is no use, throw. Remember, I will be thrown like that. Remember, I will get thrown like that. I will get thrown out like that. When I get thrown out like that, will I smile and walk out, or will I When I get thrown out, will I smile and walk out, or I'll cry and curse the entire creation? I will cry and curse the entire creation. No. The law, the dharma doesn't change. You follow me? Therefore, prarabdha and all doesn't change because of divorce. Nowadays, it is futile to say all these things because even before marriage is done, preparation for divorce is done first. Yeah. They prepare for divorce first and then only get married. Correct? Pre-nup. Kya. Correct? So, preparation for divorce is done even before marriage. Why? No, just in case it happens, we want to be safe. God, safety from whom? You want safety from the person whom you are going to live with. What kind of thinking is that? But then this is considered as very wise way of living also. Now, what do we do? Last clarification and then we conclude. Yes. Sanjani has a clarification. You can see the thumbs up. Yeah.
Okay, is it heard?
Yes, yes.
So you talked about two kinds of tyaga. One is karma phala tyaga and another is kartrutva.
Yes.
So I just want to know, is there a term called karma tyaga itself? Because in case of a sannyasi where he is free from the nitya naimitika karma, so can we use the term karma tyaga for such persons?
No. Don't mix it up here because karma tyaga and kartrutva tyaga are very synonymous. The kartrutva tyaga is the most difficult. That's where the doer himself is the doer, the doership itself is given up. When the doership itself is given up, doing and all by default goes away. Again, I repeat, kartrutva in kartrutva tyaga, karma tyaga becomes a part of it because is kartrutva superior or karma superior? Is kartrutva superior or kartrutva superior? Because kartrutva irundha karmave varum. Are able to follow the sequence? Kartrutva, only if kartrutva is there, karma is going to exist. Now, karma can go away and kartrutva can remain. As in, I don't have any duties, I don't have any obligations, kartrutva can remain. Are able to follow? Now, what I said as kartrutva, first you do karma pala tyaga, then you do kartrutva tyaga itself. In that, karma also gets relinquished. So, karma tyaga happens in kartrutva tyaga by default. Kartrutva tyaga means the height of Sakshi Bhava, the height of objectivity, where instruments are doing, I have nothing to do with it. Instruments are doing, I have nothing to do with it. And the instruments will go through fluctuations, and the instrumental fluctuations, I have nothing to do with it. Are you able to follow what is Kartrutva Tyaga? Kartrutva Tyaga means actions will go on, instruments perform the actions, and the fluctuations will be registered by the respective instrument. And when the fluctuations is registered by the respective instrument, I witness that also. That's why in the hierarchy, Kartrutva Tyaga is the highest. Therefore, I just went into the two extremes straight away. Karma Pala Tyaga and the Kartrutva Tyaga, relinquishment. Is it okay? Yeah. With this, we conclude for today.